Buying a house is fun and exciting, but it's also filled with the potential for a lot of mistakes and costly ones at that. So in this video, we're going to talk about 10 mistakes you should avoid in the home buying process. The first mistake we're going to talk about is starting the home search before you're pre-approved. First off, you need to know how much house you can afford. And the only way to truly find that out is talking with a lender and getting pre-approved. If you start your search before you become pre-approved, you are inevitably going to fall in love with a home that's over your price range. And you may even try to put an offer in, and no seller is going to even give you the time of day if you are not pre-approved. So the very first thing you need to do before you even go to your first open house is get pre-approved. The second mistake a lot of home buyers make is looking for perfection. No home is perfect, even new construction. And if you're looking for perfection, you will be disappointed over and over and over again. Every house has its faults, and no house is going to be exactly what you're looking for. So you need to determine what you can live with and what you can't live with. The third mistake home buyers make is not considering closing costs. There was a time when we were in a buyer's market where the seller was offering to pay closing costs. We are not in a buyer's market. We are nowhere near a buyer's market. So you need to know what those numbers are and factor that into what you can afford before you start your home search. The fourth mistake home buyers make is using the listing agent to represent them. Now, first and foremost, a listing agent represents the seller. A listing agent can submit an offer on your behalf, but the listing agent represents the seller and has fiduciary responsibilities towards the seller. If you want someone to look out for your best interest, you need to get a sales agent for yourself and not use the listing agent to represent you. You need a good buyer's agent who understands your wants and needs and who is good at listening to your concerns before you start your home search. Find yourself a good real estate agent. And the best way to do that is to ask friends. Find out who they used for real estate agents. And if you still don't have a real estate agent, get in touch with me. I will hook you up with one if you are not local to Massachusetts. And if you are local to Massachusetts, give me a call and let's start the conversation. The fifth mistake home buyers make when searching for a home is mixing up their must-have to their wants. And what I mean by that is when you are doing a home search, you need to make a list of what your must-haves are, what your non-negotiables are. And then you need to make a list of what your wants are, what you would like to have, what would be a bonus if you got with your home. So for instance, a non-negotiable may be you want to be on a quiet road. A non-negotiable may be you need to have 3 bathrooms. Those are some non-negotiables that you may have on your list. Your bonuses and your wants may be a fireplace, maybe hardwood floors, something like that. Don't let a house pass you by because it doesn't have hardwood floors. You don't want your bonus items to get in the way of your must-haves, especially in a seller's market. If you're looking at that home and thinking, I don't know, I hate the color of the cabinets. I'm not going to buy this house. You are never going to find a home. So you need to make sure that your non-negotiables are few and your non-negotiables are solid so that you don't get that mixed up with your would like to have or your bonus items. Okay, so that was 5 mistakes to avoid. If you like this video and you've gotten a little bit of value out of it so far, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and definitely subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified whenever a new video drops. Mistake number 6 is not considering location. When my husband and I were buying our first home, we had the towns that we wanted to live in that were potential for us. And one town was far enough away that would add a good amount of time to his commute and to my commute, which wasn't that big of a deal at the time because we didn't have children. But what was a big deal was there was the road to get in and out of the town was this long, windy 2-lane road. So if you got behind someone who was doing a Sunday drive on a Tuesday morning at 7:30 when you're running late and you're on your way to work, you were screwed. So we decided to sort of cross that location off our list because we knew that over time it was really going to get to us to not have a direct way back and forth to work. The other thing is you might want to be on a quiet road. You might not care that it's on a busy street. All of that plays a part when it comes to location. The seventh mistake to avoid is asking for too many opinions. I know when I work with buyers, especially young buyers, especially first time buyers, and I did this myself. I had my parents come with me, I had my in laws come with me and take a look at homes with my husband and I asked for their opinion because I valued their opinion. The trouble begins when you start asking too many people because everyone has their opinion. Inevitably, you are not going to agree with every opinion. And what that does is makes you confused. So when you are searching for your home, it's okay to ask one or two people to go with you, someone that you value their opinion, but do not have a whole entourage come with you because it always backfires in the end. Okay, the eighth thing might sound a little contradictory, and it's two, 8A and we'll say 8B. So 8A we'll say is rushing into buying a home. And in today's market, I totally understand people rushing. You go to an open house, you see 20 people at an open house, and there's already 3 offers ahead of you that are much better than yours. And so I get wanting to rush, and I totally understand when you see the house that you love and you know it's your house to move on it. But what I don't want you to do is going against your non-negotiables because it's a house in your price range and you're just sick and tired of looking for a home and you just want to buy a home. Conversely, dragging your feet. At some point, if you can't make a decision, the market is just going to pass you by and you're going to be 6-7 months down the road, a year down the road, thinking to yourself, oh, I should have bought that house. Why didn't I buy that house? Oh my gosh, prices went up, interest rates have changed, all that info. If you find a house that you like, it meets your non-negotiable list, you can afford it, buy the house. The longer you continue to sit and think to yourself, I don't know, a better one might come on, I don't know what to do, that house is gone and the market is going to change. And what you may have been able to afford 6 months ago, you may not be able to afford now. So I don't want you to rush into things, but I also don't want you to drag things out. All right, number 9 is getting too emotional. Buying a house is an emotional process. Selling a house is an emotional process. There's no way emotion doesn't affect your decision making at some level. But if you get too emotional, it is going to be just a roller coaster of up and downs. And from when your offer gets accepted to the closing table, there's so much that can go wrong that you should not get emotional. I don't know how else to say it. You want to be sensible about it and you want to be cautiously optimistic, but don't get too emotional and don't fall too much in love with the home. I know that's so hard to say, but try not to fall too much in love with the home. There are things that can happen throughout the home selling process that may be out of your control and you might lose the home. And so if you fall in love with it too fast and too much and you lose the home for some reason that's out of your control, it's just heartbreaking. Which brings me sort of back a little bit to, I forget what number it was, about getting a good buyer's agent. If you have a good buyer's agent with you, they can help sort of foresee possible bumps in the road and proactively work to take care of those so that the transaction does go through and you do get the home. So even though a lot can go wrong, if you have the right people around you, a good buyer's agent and a good lender, those chances do drop significantly, but nothing is guaranteed. And I always say to my buyers and my sellers, until there is a signature on that paper, anything can happen. Number 10, when you are actively looking for a home, do not make any big purchases. Don't buy a car. Don't open up lots of credit cards. Just lay low. Because when you are going through the mortgage process, all of that info is going to come up, and you may or may not get the interest rate or the approval of the loan because you literally just bought a car and added a little bit too much debt. So when you are actively looking for a home, stay away from big purchases. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value out of it. If you did, go ahead and give that a thumbs up. And if you're interested in learning more about the real estate market, living in New England, living in Massachusetts, and home life in general, go ahead and subscribe and hit that little bell so you get notified whenever a new video drops. And if you're looking for a home in Massachusetts and you're not really sure where to start, give me a call. It's never too early to start that conversation. See you next time.